everyone, I'm Ellie Barquette, and I am your host for tonight's live discussion. I am excited to introduce our guests for this post-event. As you will see, Team Harmony has no limitations. We've got Boston, New Orleans, the Netherlands, Cuba, and I'm coming to you from Florida. From Pakistan to Boston to LA, we have DJ Pup Dog coming to us live. We've been working with him for quite some time now and are so happy to have such a big name here in the music business here tonight with us. Next, we have D1, who is an award-winning hip-hop artist, public speaker, educator, and owner of a clothing brand called Mission Vision Lifestyle. And he just dropped a new single called Hi Mom, available on all streaming platforms. We also have two of our very own global youth reporters, Nia May, who is a singer-songwriter from the Netherlands, and Ninian, whose story we just saw throughout the episode, from Cuba. Welcome, and thank you all for joining us. To all our viewers from home, we want to hear from you guys. So please, if you have any questions, send them in. So let's get to it. We have just seen how the arts can play a critical role in racial and social justice throughout the world. How do you see art as having an impact on racial and social justice? Let's start with you, Dee.
Well, art brings everyone together in a way that most things in life cannot. So when people are enjoying a piece of art, whether they're looking at visual art or whether they're listening to a song, honestly, it makes people forget what color the person next to them is. Because if they both are vibing out to that beat, or if they're both admiring the art that they see visually in front of them, in that moment, they feel united because of that art. So when we use art properly, it's not just a form of self-expression, but it's actually something that is meant to bring people together and give them a commonality that allows them to bind behind that art. So that's why I think that art, it transcends all boundaries, including countries, continents, and also racial boundaries. And that's why I believe artists, we need to take their responsibility to heart in terms of the art we create can truly transform someone's life. And we should get into the recording studio or the booth and be conscious of that every time.
Thank you. So Pup, how about your perspective? How do you see art as having an impact on racial and social justice?
I think what Dee nailed it on the head. I mean, I think it's just the voice that, people like Dee who can express it and just kind of, you saw the common thing with everybody talking about when you spread love, you just get a lot more back. And I know Dee nailed it even in the earlier presentation where he was talking about it, how, if you spread good love, you're going to get it back, man, 100%. Everybody says that. Everybody I've come around I've been in the industry for 20 plus years now. And the common denominator is just be kind, spread love, and you'll get a lot more back. So I think with music, it does bring everybody together, black, whites, Asians, everything together. Because again, if you're feeling the vibe, I've been around the world and people don't speak a lick of English, but sing along to every record, So it's just music does bring everybody together, and it's great that Dee and a lot of artists that I know personally that are using their platform and their voice to spread that message right there.
Awesome, thank you. So we'll take it over to Ninian, since you had such an amazing piece on an artist. Are you a singer or musician yourself?
Well, yes, I'm a musician, but I'm not a singer. I don't like my voice. That's a terrible voice, but I play piano and clarinet, and I love working with singers, with all musicians. That's my life.
So how has Rachi's music inspired you? And what was surprising throughout your interview with her?
Well, I've known her music since I was a girl, thanks to my mom. And recently I found about her project. I heard about it and I found it very interesting and necessary. I started to follow her work, and I used this report story as an excuse to meet her, because I felt like I needed to do something, help her get involved in that. And well, I reached to her and she was very welcoming. She treated me like an old friend. It was amazing, and we stayed connected to work together in that same project because I really loved her work.
Awesome. And Nia May, what inspires you about writing your music, or who are some people that inspire you?
I feel like the people around me inspire me to write songs because everybody has such a special story and everybody deals with certain emotions, and I hope to translate that in songs, and then they can kind of have a song to deal with those emotions. So everybody around me inspires me.
Awesome. So throughout the webisode, we saw so much positivity. Dee, we got a question for you. How do you stay so positive?
I think I stay positive because like Big Sean said, when you truly start to count your blessings, you realize that you don't have enough fingers and toes to count them all. And all of a sudden, the burdens or the quote unquote problems that you have in your life, they get outnumbered by the blessing of good health, the blessing of great friends, the blessing of having talents that you're able to use to help make this world a better place. And when you start to count all those blessings up, it's real easy to leave off with a smile on your face because you just truly think, I won't be here forever. And while I am here, I know that I'm not operating at my fullest potential if I'm operating from a mindset of negativity. You know, like you can't maximize your calling here on earth if you're not coming from a place of gratitude and positivity. So remembering that is what allows me to push forward.
Absolutely. And like Big Sean said, if you're looking for positive things, more things, you're going to be aware and see more positive things. Mm-hmm. So Pup, how do you stay so positive?
Again, I'm gonna keep repeating what my man just said, but yeah, you gotta count your blessings 100%. There's people that are going through things, and right now, especially right now, with everybody going through things, literally, people ask me how I'm doing. You know, yeah, we're swamped with work and stuff like that, but I've got a job. I've got a roof over my head. There's food on the table. The family's healthy. Like it could be a lot worse, especially right now with everything going on. You know, you just just family being healthy is the biggest blessing, you know. So again, you always just got to look at the positive sides of things. And for me, I've gotten away from the negative people. If I hear people always complaining and not making those changes, I've actually got myself out of that equation. You know, I kind of try to tell them as much as I can, like, yo, you got to start changing things. But if you're not going to change it, you know what? I don't want that energy around me. And you know, you got to protect yourself. You got to protect your energy first, and that's how I do it. And the people around me are a tight unit, and they're all positive, and we all kind of motivate each other. So it's okay Absolutely. To take yourself out of that, and don't ever apologize for protecting your energy.
I love that. So with the positive people around you and yourself, how do you stay engaged in the fight for racial and social justice? Pup.
With my platform, I think just, you know, being out there as much as I can, you know, fighting with everybody, with everyone's going through it. I got a lot of friends that have gone through it. I actually have a real close friend, a family friend of ours, DJ Henry, who was actually killed by the police a long time ago. We've been fighting for him for over 10 years now. But, you know, with his name, we've been able to put a lot of kids into after school programs and stuff like that. So, you know, his name is going to live on. And if I can help out in that way with raising awareness and making sure that Black lives matter, every lives matter. But right now we are talking about Black lives matter because all lives can't matter, like T.I. said, until Black lives matter, you know. So just using my platform as wherever I can and keep giving back and letting people know where I stand, and which is, you know, just we all got to be treated fairly, everybody, you know, and it starts with a certain group of people that have been treated unfairly for a very long time. So I've got their back all day.
Awesome. And now we're going to do the same question with Nia. How do you stay engaged in the fight for racial and social justice other than being a global youth reporter for Team Harmony?
I feel like since I do not have that big of a platform, I try to do it when I'm in a situation where I feel like someone isn't treated well or I'm not treated well, that I speak up and actually give them a piece of my mind and tell them that this is not okay. I feel like it starts because I do not have that big of a platform. It starts with me, and if I can make a small change by saying something that is right, yeah, I feel like that's how I kind of stay engaged.
Thank you. How about you, Dee?
Well, this struggle is still something that I deal with on a daily basis. By me being a young Black man, you know, I still get afraid when I get pulled over by the police, like I did about 5 days ago while I was on a road trip, and it's midnight, and I have to worry, unfortunately, because you know, I know people who look like me who haven't made it out of those encounters alive, and I get pulled out of the car and I have to stand back there, and I'm, you know, basically getting harassed. They thought that I was selling drugs, you know, across state lines. and I was coming from looking at houses, literally like looking at purchasing some real estate. So when you think about that stuff, it's not hard for me, to like I just come from a background to where my whole life I have felt like I was put here to break the stereotypes. I want people to look at me and probably try to box me in based on how I might appear, but then I want to totally shatter that bias that they may have, or that sense of prejudice, when I hit them with my intellect, and when I articulate myself in a manner that demands respect. I like to be able to do that. So that's symbolic of the fact that, hey, everyone who might fit a certain physical description does not have the same heart posture or the same character. And regardless, everyone is entitled to their basic human rights. So this is something that's connected to me, and I don't think I'll ever be able to divorce myself from being dedicated to fighting for social justice.
Absolutely. Now, with your music and your platform, do you get pushback from speaking about any of these issues?
Yeah, I get people who say that if I just made songs for the clubs, or made songs that people could turn up to all the time, that it would be easier for me. But it's not about being easy, it's about being impactful. And you can't be impactful if you always skate around the most important issues that there are that's facing us as human beings. So I was put into this game intentionally to shake up the status quo of what an artist should be passionate about. So like I just won an NAACP award, and I got into the game wanting to win Grammy awards, but NAACP award is symbolic of the fact that I'm having an impact in my community and on a social justice level in people's lives, even more so than the music industry's ears sometimes. And you have to think about whose validation you're chasing after, because if you're looking for the wrong type of people to approve of you, then you'll find yourself turning into a different person just to try to get their approval. And that's not what we were put here for. So being connected to a greater purpose is just part of why I was put here. So I never want to divorce myself from that.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. Now, Pup, do you receive any pushback?
No, my boss actually gives us the green light, man. He's we're part of, I mean, I'm part of a hip hop station. I'm part of a lot of hip hop stations. If we were to stay quiet, no way. I wouldn't be able to do this, Luckily, my boss didn't even have to say anything. He was pretty much just like, if those people don't agree with you, they shouldn't be listening to Jim. And so do what you need to be doing, and he's had our back, and I've never gotten any pushbacks from him, my company. It's great that they give me this mic and trust me with it. And, I think I'm here to speak for a lot of people that don't have the voice. So shout outs to Dylan and shout outs to iHeart for letting me be free.
Awesome. And thank you again to them, because if you don't want to listen to it, just don't go to that channel. But there's plenty of people who do and need to hear it. So thank you. And we'll go back to Ninian. Do you think that the artists in Cuba receive any pushback?
Well, yes. Well, I'm a classical musician, and personally, I don't know, it's crazy, but we also receive pushbacks because the television doesn't promote enough our music. We found ourselves in little few spaces to do our performances, and we have always to try and do our own promotions, just get outside and get flies, is that correct? So flyers, and is that it is a lot of pressure about it. I will not talk about the same thing as Doug and Dee, but this is my view, and I think we also should have in Cuba, maybe it's different from US, but it's like backwards. We don't have enough spaces to, and there are people that like us but doesn't know where we are playing or something like that. So we should have more spaces too.
Well, we're so glad you joined Team Harmony to share your voice. So we do have a question from a viewer for everyone that they believe each of us is here on this planet for a purpose. So Nia, what do you think your purpose is?
Well, ever since I was little, I've always been told that I am that I'm so optimistic. So I feel like I'm here to show people that even though, because I think we all go through life and sometimes it's not as fun. And I feel like through my music, I could share that life can be fun and that even though it's hard sometimes, I just have to push through and fight, and that people are strong and beautiful. And yeah, I feel like I'm here to bring positive energy.
Awesome, thank you. And D1, now if you consider yourself V1, what is your purpose?
My purpose is to do God's will, honestly. I believe in God. There's no way around it, that everything that I do is to try to make God proud of me. And when I perform and when I write music and when I wake up every day and I try to impress an audience of one, which is one God, it takes a lot of pressure off of me, because Lord knows they're trying to impress all of the people on Instagram and all the people in the streets and all of my friends. That feels like such an overwhelming task that I always feel inadequate. But when I'm focused on impressing God in everything I do, it just gives me a lot more peace, and it gives me a lot more purpose in terms of what direction I'm moving in and what type of decisions to make. What's the right course of action versus what's the wrong course of action. So that's where my purpose falls. It's that simple. So the music that I produce, the lyrics that I spit, and the way I treat people, whether it's on a Zoom call or whether it's in real life, it's all done in a manner that I'm attempting to make God as proud of me as possible.
Awesome. And Pup Dog, you have so many artists that you work with and so many channels and so many songs constantly on the radio. You're always working. What do you think your purpose is along with that?
To make people dance and come together and smile and laugh, and music brings everybody together. And I think that's, coming up from my family, the way, we were always together, and just, my mom and my dad, very loving family, and, with everybody around me, I think it's just to bring everybody together. And if I can do that through music, that's what I've been doing. So that's been my purpose, to make you dance. All right.
Keep doing that, please. Ninian, and what do you think your purpose is?
The same as Doug, to make people enjoy music, and whatever they come from, they will understand music is the universal language. So with that, I would like to communicate or what I'm feeling and thinking, and just to enjoy it, make them happy.
Wonderful. Now, Pup Dog, with how much you work with the industry and people within the industry, have you seen it anybody becoming more conscious of social justice issues?
Everybody, yes. Everybody's taking a stance, everybody that's been around. It's a conversation that comes up everywhere, and how we can help. And that's why when I reached out to, in this situation, T.I., Big Sean, Taz Taylor was the first time I talked to him. But, I think in this world that we're in, they all know they have a voice, and they all want to speak on it, and spread that message of, like, don't let that negative stuff, there's a lot of good stuff that could be happening. You just got to stay focused. You got to work hard, and you just got to be in that right mindset. And, they're all willing to always talk about it and want to use this platform. They actually been coming on with me even more now, I think, in this last year, just to be able to talk about the good, how they can spread some more love. So, yeah, so that's where that's at.
Thank you. So we're going to head over to Nia. And when writing your music, do you aim your songs at a particular audience, or is there something that you're writing for?
I feel like when writing songs, I aim to target. I aim to write for people that have a certain emotion, so I do not directly write for a certain audience. I try to make my song as relatable as possible, So yeah, I just feel like I write songs to like spread a message in a way, and I do not directly aim for people.
Awesome. What about you, Dee?
What was the question again?
It was, give me 1 second. When writing your music, do you aim your songs at a particular audience?
No, I don't aim my songs at a particular audience, and I've been told that I should, but I'm not doing music thinking about thinking about how to reach this calculated audience. I'm doing music just like Nia said, as a form of self-expression, and I think that because it's coming from real experiences that I'm going through, different songs are meant to reach different audiences. And I love that. I love that all of my songs are not meant to reach the same people, because if they were, it would feel calculated and it would feel like it was a business move at this point. And I've been blessed, and I want everyone to understand this, that in life and in business, you will be successful in business when you pursue your craft from a place of passionate authenticity. When you are passionate and authentic in whatever your craft is, then the business side, you'll find that it will emerge and it will literally take care of itself. So the artists who try to say, I'm going to make a hit song tonight so that I can blow up and get rich, it never works like that. It absolutely never works. Pup Dog probably knows a lot about that. It's like you hear these stories from artists about how they made their biggest hit song, and it came from a joke or a conversation they were having with the homies, and they just had fun, and that fun translated into a great song, and that song changed their lives. So that's how I make my music. Yeah.
Speaking of artists expressing themselves, around the world, we've seen musicians and artists criticized, censored, or worse, prosecuted for using their art to draw attention to human rights abuses or racial or social injustice. How should we support artists going through this?
Just support them. Exactly that. Just by spreading their messages. We're quick to repost an accident or a shooting or a fight or something like that. Let's start reposting the D's of the world, the Cordays, the J. Coles. I know they do already have a platform, but that's the kind of stuff that needs to get, what we need to oversaturate the market by, not those other stuff, because people are just going for clickbaits. And unfortunately, that's where we're at right now, which sucks, because I wouldn't even I was asked to do morning show, and I was like, no, because I just don't like gossip. I don't like that world. That's never been me. I will not be able to, exactly what Dee said. If it doesn't come from somewhere, I'm not gonna be able to be this person that you don't want me to be. So same thing with that. Just spread that message more. Stop focusing on spreading the fight on the subway, or that girl beating up another person, the car accident, or whatever. Start reposting good stuff.
And use social media for good and not promotional for clothing stores or something like that. So
even fine. Support your friends, but
yes.
Don't do the negative stuff.
Yes, you're right. Dee, how about you? How do you think that we should support artists going through this?
First of all, man, I appreciate what Pup Dog says so much, because for him to be a person in a position to dictate what's cool to people, and for him to care about saying that that artists such as myself and such as the other artists who really have a mind focused on wanting to feed people food for thought and not feed them food that's going to poison their brains and poison their spirits, that means a lot to hear that type of brother say that. So I salute Pup Dog for that. I definitely feel like it's tough as an artist for me to tell people, hey, y'all need to go support me. That's what y'all need to support, more people like me. It just sounds kind of narcissistic. But in reality, we do need to make it to where we are at least accurately portraying the realities of life. And the problem comes when people are glorifying this negative behavior, because we all are smart enough to know that constant negative behavior is going to end you up in jail or in a graveyard somewhere. And there's no way that this negative, ignorant behavior should be glorified. But the world, unfortunately has this paradigm that needs to shift to where we at least are portraying reality to people. Because the worst thing in the world is for a child who is young and impressionable to grow up miseducated, because now that is tattooed inside of their brains, this flawed perception of how the world really works. And when they go out there and they actually try these behaviors out, and these erroneous thoughts that they try them out in real life, they're gonna learn a tough lesson. And sometimes people don't get a second chance when they make a big mistake in life. So I just feel like we owe it to people to at least present reality to them. So all of my music isn't happy-go-lucky, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Actually, none of it is. It's just very real, and I just have an optimistic view on the world. So even if my student got murdered, or my best friend got killed, or I lost my grandmother a few months ago, I try to speak on these topics with a perspective that still shows people that God is still in control, and you should still have hope moving forward.
Absolutely. And Niamey and Neon, with smaller platforms, do you suggest anything to help these artists out?
Well, I'll just tell them that accept their differences. Just that's what makes you authentic. So don't try to imitate someone or something just because it's fashionable. Just don't be afraid to experiment and to speak what from your heart, what you feel. Don't be afraid to be bold. That's my advice.
Absolutely.
I completely agree with what she said. Staying true to who you are and not trying to create an image of what you think is do like what the right thing is to do, and be an authentic person, be true to yourself. I think that will keep you humble. So definitely that.
Awesome. So do we have any final thoughts or anything you guys would like the world to know?
Spread love, be kind.
Be real, be righteous, be relevant. And go bump my new single, Hi Mom. It's gonna bring some light to your world, I promise you.
To enjoy life. Enjoy life. That's what I do, and I like everyone to do.
Awesome.
Like Harry Styles says, treat people with kindness.
Absolutely. So you go.
What about you, Ellie?
What about me? I try and live as positive as possible, and I learned control what you can control and let go for the things you can't. So work hard for what you believe in and stick up for what you believe in, and that's the most important thing. So you can follow, for those viewers at home, you can follow DJ Pup Dog and D1 and Niamey on Instagram and Facebook. So on Instagram, correct me if I'm wrong, D, it's at D1 Music. That's DEE1 Music, the number 1.
Yes.
Niamey, NIAMAE Music, and at DJ Pup Dog. And on Facebook, it's DJ Pup Dog 945, and same thing for D, DEE1 Music. So thank you all for joining this post discussion, and thank you all for those who joined at home. For those of you celebrating this week, happy Thanksgiving, and please stay safe. Until next time.